Thank you very much, Freak. Welcome to World's Cooldown, where IG and Fnatic just gave us the greatest finish to the best group stage in the history of the World Championship.
Woo!
Both teams, I'm saying it.
I agree.
I am
the
saying
best
it.
of 5.
Both teams took the gloves off for this one and absolutely went at it until Fnatic gets the KO.
I don't know, Dash. That sounds like you're saying that, like Invictus Gaming were like throwing a couple hits back.
They definitely threw punches
I don't
back.
know. The game I was watching, Broxy just like took off the glove and just like slapped Ming across the face multiple times.
Definitely a difference maker. But let's be honest. I mean, the way that mid lane was going on the outset in favor of Rookie, Fnatic had to make moves like that to get back into the game.
Yes, and I think that's actually the greatest thing about this matchup between these two teams is that you have advantages different places. Rookie's laning phase is definitely better than Captain's laning phase, but then you have Broxah, who is better than Ning in the jungle, and he's making plays like this in the early game around the bot lane.
And I thought the team compositions these teams chose were just both so mechanically difficult and fun to watch. You had to make so many individual outplays, and in laning phase, Rookie did that for a lot of it, and that's why this game was neck and neck up until about 20 minutes.
And that's the second awesome thing about this. Normally when you have like a 40-minute game, you do a highlight reel, and that was sick by the way. You have a 40-minute game, highlight reel is about 5 minutes long. For this game, I think the highlight reel is like the entire game, basically. We had so many big plays between all 10 players, 9 players. Baolan missed everything. Also, we got this one from Whipper.
That's my jungler. Oh no, the thing is that there's such a high level of talent in this game, and the fact is that they're able to create so many opportunities that so many teams don't even realize exist. Like, as an audience, might be like, I didn't even know they could do that. I didn't know you could make that play. The Baron calls, though, in particular for Fnatic. I wish we had a lot of the clips of the Baron plays, because their Baron plays in both games were beautifully executed and set up. So it wasn't just about the mechanical outplays, but I was so impressed by the macro performance and the shot calling from Fnatic.
I want to watch
We
more
waited,
of it.
we
I
waited
want to
the
watch
whole
more
day.
of it.
We waited the whole day for this. We watched the 5 setup games for the final 2 right at the end.
Yeah, we get
Hashtag
those.
worth it?
I think so.
Absolutely, absolutely worth it. As of now, we're awaiting, the preparation of the knockout stage draw, but we already heard the casters themselves hypothesizing a little bit about it. The strength of Fnatic as a 1 seed here up against any of the 2 seeds will quite obviously be favored in that matchup.
Of course, I think people will look at EDG and say, okay, EDG versus Fnatic, should Fnatic be scared? No.
Knock them down.
IG are way better than EDG already, and they just took down IG 2 games in a row here. So Fnatic's style is really good in the current meta because there is so many aggressive picks you can go for.
Let's get a little review of the 8 teams moving on to the next stage. In Group A, Freak of Freaks and G2 earned their spots in the quarterfinals. Group B had back-and-forth matches where Royal Never Give Up and Cloud9 came out ahead. Group C went the way of KT Rolster and Edward Gaming. And finally, today's champions, Fnatic and Invictus Gaming, will be representing Group D. So we have 2 Korean teams, 3 LPL teams, 2 European LCS teams, and 1 North American team making it through.
Yeah, and 2 Korean first seeds with 1 EU first seed and 1 LPL first seed. And it's interesting to note, Fnatic could not meet Invictus Gaming again until the finals if it were to happen.
Exactly.
So the number 2 seeds they can play against are EU, NA, or LPL.
Yeah, we've got 3 LPL teams through, which is cool. So it's the most represented region. But as you mentioned, 2 of the 1 seeds are held by Korea. And so funny to think back
still
on the beginning
hanging
days of the
around.
tournament, when we were like, oh no, KR really in trouble here.
Right.
Well, they still have 2 teams that get that first seed and an ideal matchup, I'd say, based on the fact that they'll be paired up against.
It is true, but I feel like this is the first year where you look at one of the Korean first seeds and you actually say out of the 4 teams that are first seeds, you probably want them the most. Like if you are second seed, drawing Afrika is most likely the best thing you can do. Fnatic would then come in second based on just the history and the skill also on KT and RNG.
But what I'm really curious about is where you guys would stack rank Fnatic now. So we were pretty split on KT, RNG as like our first 2 seeds. And then I feel like everyone's confidently going to say, okay, kick Edward Gaming down. Fnatic at least 3rd.
I put him 3rd.
Yeah.
Would you put him any higher?
It may be based on the recency, but I think it's 3rd. I think RNG and KT did enough for the pre-tournament preconceptions to still be there, but Fnatic played so well.
So KT, RNG, Fnatic now in 3rd. Does IG slot in right behind them in that 4 position and just shove the rest of the standings down? Or does the 2 losses today actually against Fnatic give you a little bit more concern for those best of 5?
The thing is that I think a lot of people will look at Invictus Gaming from the lens of just this tournament, and so they say, okay, we have one game on record of Jackie Love, Baolan, and Ning having a very off game. Maybe you can say Ning for 2 games, the 2 recent games against Fnatic, but for LPL fans, if you extend that timeline, you know that Baolan, Ning, and Jackie Love have underperformed the entire summer split, and in very critical moments for Jackie Love. Jackie Love had a decent summer, but he was never able to step up in high-pressure situations. So I think from that lens, I wouldn't immediately slot IG, because I look at that game from IG, I'm like, okay, it's back to reality. We're no longer overperforming expectations. Now we're playing Invictus Gaming level.
I would like to change underperforming to inconsistent performances for these guys. Like, Ning has had a lot of games where it is the 10-0 Ning that we are praising, and then we've also had the next game where he became the 0-10 Ning. I think Baolan's performance was actually the worst out of the IG players, mainly because he got put on the Leona, which was supposed to be the pick into the Rakan, and he didn't perform.
Well, there you hear it, ladies and gentlemen. The group stage, or rather knockout stage draw about to start. So as it is, let me give you a quick reminder on the rules of the group draw. The number 1 seeds will be drawn first. All first seeds will play a second seed. The one important thing to note here is that teams from the same group may not be on the same side of the bracket. Not just in the same matchup, on the same side of the bracket. Don't worry, we'll break it down for you as the names are polled. So first up, our number 1 seed.
I'm so excited for this.
Ooh.
It's like Christmas.
I mean,
Watch.
We have a 50-50 basically.
Pulling the names for us.
So this means that G2 cannot be on the same side of the bracket as Afrika.
That is correct.
Yeah. 50% chance that RNG and KT.
There will be a little bit of waiting period here, as
different
obviously
side
we only have
bracket.
1 team loaded up. So no matchups determined just yet.
Yep. But we will get to find out if KT and RNG are on different sides of the bracket. Do we know if the next poll goes top right or bottom left?
Bottom left. Top
So-
left, bottom left.
Okay.
Top right, bottom right.
If you get KT RNG
Please,
now,
please, 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 please.
you can get that final.
I think it's orange. Oh,
It's-
no!
Who is it? Who is it?
What's it going to be?
It's
It's
Fnatic!
Fnatic.
Oh, my goodness! All right. So Fnatic to the bottom left of the bracket.
Listen, this is the best thing
Really
ever for Fnatic.
interesting.
This means
This is the best thing for
Fnatic
Fnatic.
you can take
finals in this
exactly.
draw.
You can take
They
Fnatic
can.
to the finals here because KT and RNG, at best, if they win, that means they meet in the semifinals.
Exactly. Now, if Fnatic
Wow.
win and Afrika win, they will face each other in the semifinal.
Yep.
And their chances of the teams that they'll face will either be Cloud9 or Edward Gaming.
Watch drawing our next 1 seed. It looks like it will be RNG going to the top right. MLXG, the representative of RNG on stage. We do have a player from each team. We have Keen representing Afrika Freaks. As I mentioned, MLXG. Smeb, the representative for KT, and Mako for EDG. G2's Wadid, C9's Blabber, IG's Rookie, and Fnatic's Reckless. Just to confirm, this is KT. So there you
Coming
have
into
it.
this tournament, we were all saying we hope RNG and KT will be on opposite sides. That is like the dream final before the tournament started.
That wasn't Fnatic's dream.
Fnatic's
Yeah, I was going to say, from a viewer's perspective,
This is the best thing for Fnatic ever.
I don't
Yes.
know about you, but I almost have confidence that in a best of 5, Fnatic take KT or RNG all the way in that form.
so here's where things get interesting. The 2 seeds will be drawn. Watch polling the first. Let's see where they head.
All right, what are the matchups? So this goes top left.
Cloud9, they
Right
will
away.
slot in up against Afrika Freaks.
You know what?
Are you ready for
Cloud9,
That is a fantastic
That's
draw.
it's about as good as you can hope for. That's
You're either
that's
hoping
great.
Afrika or
That's as
Fnatic.
good as you
Either
can hope
way, you
for.
ended up on the same
With how
side of the
Fnatic
bracket.
looked today, I thought maybe with the EU versus anything you'd want it, but with watching Fnatic, I think this is what's seen.
That's an NAEU semi,
We
possibly.
have 2 Western teams now on the left side. G2 cannot be on the same side
Yep.
as Afrika, so they have to go to the right side.
It's
The LPL.
Fnatic Edward Gaming, isn't it?
If
Yes,
EDG
it
doesn't get
is.
pulled here,
Here we go.
there's so much sadness in the LPL because that would mean. Or no.
2015
Wait, yes.
flashing before my eyes right now.
EDG has to go against Fnatic.
All right, the second 2 seed to be polled here.
They don't. You're right.
The anticipation is so great. G2.
G2 RNG.
Again, they will slot into the right side of the bracket because they cannot go to the same side as Afrika Freaks.
And I just want to point out that Jonan in an interview said if they get RNG, He's confident. His Heimerdinger can beat Uzi.
But when it comes to the rest of the 80 carries, not so sure. Sharing a handshake up there on stage would need an MLXG. We've got 2 more matchups.
Yep, this is always the part that fools me often and a lot of the viewers. It's because the people in the same group can't be on the same side of the bracket is again why G2 jumped to RNG instead of playing against Fnatic.
The 2015 rematch.
EDG.
Fnatic 3.
They're going to be heading over to Fnatic's side.
Or was it 2016? I try to
When
forget
the
a lot of
2015
those
World
years.
Championship, that's when Fnatic made it to the semifinals along with Origin.
Which means it's Invictus Gaming
Against
versus KT.
Oh, man.
We will confirm that with the draw here. We must do our due diligence. But if all goes right, that is an IG, and our bracket is locked with that.
The reunion for Rookie here.
Rookie and Smeb.
Former KT Arrow, now, excuse me, Bullet, now gets to face the KT squad.
All right. We have our matchups. I'm staring across the desk. We're not on camera right now. I see some...
We got
I see faces that are struggling to comprehend and grasp the complexities of this, and I already see people charting paths to finals for their regional teams. I mean, I think if you're a Western fan, in particular of Fnatic or C9, you are over the moon with the draws that they got and the possibility of a run to a finals, let alone a semi.
I mean, I know it sucks to draw a Korean first seed, but Africa, as we said before, did not look that strong in the group stages. C9 had a lot of surprises, a lot of surprise picks. Very interesting play style. They will be facing them. I think it's C9's best chance of knocking out a first seed as well.
I mean, just think about the way Licorice played in the group stage. Like, you think he could match up with Keen, and the Africa was controlling the map, but getting slow incremental advantages for Keen. If C9 has counter picks ready for that stuff, you can see Africa having a lot of trouble with C9.
That's the thing. Africa are known for their draft, their preparation, their discipline, and they're against Cloud9, the team who's pulled out so many different pocket picks to try to throw a wrench in all of that. And we don't know if maybe they revealed their entire hand, if they still have some gas left in the tank there. I think this might be super tricky for Africa if Cloud9 have more trump cards.
Oh yeah, Champion Select is going to be a joy to watch in that best of 5. Thinking about the Fnatic and EDG matchup as well, though. I mean, Fnatic just took down IG, you know, the higher seed from the same region as EDG. So I think that alone would instill some confidence before we even begin talking about play styles and strategic matchup.
And how important was that? Because if they wouldn't have won
KT,
that last game, they wouldn't be playing KT.
To win. That's tiebreaker. This is so good. Like, for Fnatic, I think you were looking at all the second seeds, and you couldn't play IG again. Obviously, you looked at the other 3 and said, fair enough, EDG might be the strongest on paper out of the 3, but they're not that scary when you just took down IG. And after you saw Africa, you knew G2 could not be on your side, so the Fnatic G2 could not happen. And that's why you are just actually happy that you get Africa. And then you don't actually care what second seed you get, as long as Africa is on your side compared to KT or RNG when it comes to making a final.
But what's the Edward Gaming perspective here? Are they happy with this draw as well? Because they're avoiding the likes of RNG, KT, and whatnot.
I mean, I guarantee that they're chuckling about it because it is Fnatic. I know that Fnatic, at least from a Chinese fan's perspective, it is quite funny when they meet Fnatic just because of the history that that team has specifically against LPL teams. But you're correct. You just have to flip it the other way and you say, okay, yeah, EDG drew Fnatic. They look terrifying right now. But ultimately, then you're still looking at Africa as the LCK seed, and you do dodge KT and RNG as the tournament, you know, pre-tournament favorites, if you will. So I think this looks disastrous for Edward Gaming, but if they're on the other side, that looks just as bad.
Yeah, I agree.
Which brings us to that very scary right-hand side of the bracket, if we still consider RNG and KT to be the favorites. G2. Now, this was one of the surprises of the tournament, though. This is a team that, from the play-ins, struggled to start and has slowly ramped their way into it, impressed us up to this point.
Yes, and it's rough if you are G2 with RNG on your side. However, I do want to highlight that RNG solo laners this tournament have not been that scary, and G2's way of playing is very based around Wonder and Perks, specifically getting advantages in the early game and becoming a split push team, which is a potential answer to one of the best team fighting teams in the world. That's all I can say regarding good things in this matchup. Yeah. I'm not going to call G2 favorites by any means.
Yeah, I think there's definitely going to be some concerns about the lopsidedness of that matchup. You know, if you do consider that the attention for G2 will be around the solo lanes for RNG, the bot lane is always where we're looking. And while Hjarnan may be confident in the Heimer versus anything Uzi matchup, beyond that point, when the Heimer hits the ban table, I'm not so sure about how well they'll fare against the likes of Uzi and Ming.
I mean, the fact of the matter is that RNG had to bring MLXG and Karsa, though, so they don't have Zatai up into that top lane. And when they have played as a 1-3-1 team, they usually do it with Zatai up there. Just to echo Deficio, Letme's not having a great tournament. So you could have a possibility where maybe you just make, you sack bot lane, you just try to make the map super, or split the map, like Wonder goes ham up top, and you just say, Hjarnan, Wadded, hang on down there, we'll be there in like 25 minutes.
Yeah, and I think we do have to remind ourselves that RNG was pre-tournament favorite or top 2 for most people. You were expecting them to make a run to the finals until there's KT. Like, that side of the bracket looks so much to me like an RNG KT semifinal.
I mean, that should be the big one. Last thing on G2, I think they're happier to draw RNG compared to KT for the reasons we just highlighted right there.
All right, well, let's talk about our final best of 5 here in KT versus IG. Again, the best-looking Korean team here with the 1 seed. Whenever we get to those best of 5s, we always index a little bit more heavily into the strength of the Korean region, their experience, the veteranship, the coaching, and the organizational structure behind them. How do we feel IG's going to pair up against them, especially considering they had the downtick on their exit of the group stage?
I mean, the thing is I called Invictus Gaming budget KT at Rift Rivals. They play in a very similar fashion in terms of that they try to carry from every single lane, but they just don't have the consistency to do so. When they did run into KT, they basically bounced off them and fell flat onto their back. So they get another chance, but ultimately, KT, I think, are almost exactly the same as Invictus Gaming, but then have so much more on top of it.
Yeah, they're smarter than IG. IG will rely 100% on winning the early game. They failed to do that against Fnatic in the 2 games we just watched. Yeah. And that's why this matchup specifically, to me at least, is not great for IG, because the laners on KT's side are so scary.
I don't want to undersell IG, though. They went 18-1 in best of 3s in both the spring and the summer split. Their only defeats were in game 5s against RNG in the playoffs, whether it was semifinals or finals. They were extremely close, I feel like, to winning either the spring or the summer split if they had won those game 5s. So even though KT, I agree, is, you think, stylistically a slightly better version of IG, KT's not happy with this draw.
Right.
KT, I think, would have rather had any of the other pool 2s. So that is an stacked quarterfinal, in my opinion.
IG can go the distance, and they'll have to against KT if they want to pick up the victory, Frost.
I mean, the mentality is that if coming into this, Invictus Gaming and Fnatic were like our dark horses, you have to go through KT anyway if you want to win the World Championship. Like, that was just the expected outcome, so you might as well do it in quarters. Maybe that's the silver
always
lining.
the thing you can look at.
Hey, look, you're going to have to beat them eventually if you want the title. I love that mentality. Well, you've heard our thoughts on how the groups, or rather the knockout stages, drew out. Shox is standing by with the Fnatic mid laner to get his thoughts on the upcoming quarterfinal.
Thank you very much, guys. I'm here with Caps. First reaction, happy with the draw, or?
I think so. I think it couldn't be a lot better. I think we were hoping for exactly what we were hoping for. Like, we wanted to play either C9 or EDG, and we got EDG, so we're really happy.
Yeah, so how do you think about that matchup versus EDG? Because they did look quite strong in their group phase, and of course you're going up against Scout, another very, very good mid laner.
So EDG have been looking really strong in their group, but I also feel like they weren't really challenged in the early game. I mean, KT showed that if you get ahead of them, then they don't really know what to do. And I feel like TL and Matt both didn't have the tools to get ahead. And I feel like we will be able to get a lead, and then we can solve from that.
So let's come back a little, because this was a crazy day. How did this compare to last year when you had to run to even be in the tournament, and now you make the run to first seed?
So last year we were, well, actually I would say it's pretty similar. Like, you can say both like one time we went 4-1, and this year we went 4-0 on this day. And both days we were pretty calm because last year we felt like we were kind of out of the tournament already. And this year we were pretty confident because we were in a really good spot. And as soon as we won against 100 Thieves, we were basically locked out of groups. So we were playing without nerves really, and we were very calm just like last year. Except for when we played against IG, obviously, because we really wanted to beat them. And yeah, it was some crazy games.
Yeah, it was crazy, but you guys actually came through phenomenally because you had to win 2 very rough games. What would you say is the atmosphere in this Fnatic compared to last year? Looks like everyone's just feeling comfortable, just going through the motions.
So I feel like as I said a lot of times, I feel like we become a much better team, and we play a lot better together. But I also feel like, and obviously winning a lot of games helps that. I feel like our confidence levels is really high as well. We still have the very talented individual players, and we see a lot of individual plays as well still being made. So I feel like we just have a very good spirit, and we allow team play, but we also allow individual play. So.
And then if you look at that bracket, it's time to start dreaming, but it is dangerous. Tell me your expectations. Can we see a Fnatic in a world final with this draw?
Well, our goal the whole time has been winning the Worlds, right? And at the end of the day, we have to beat the second best team, basically, to win Worlds. And the draw is not going to change that. Maybe we will have an easier or harder road, but at the end of the day, we'll have to beat the second best team. And we are happy with the draw we have got, but we still have to make it all the way and then win that final.
Okay, well, yeah, I know. You got to temper a little bit. Thank you very much. Congratulations. Insane effort today. Caps, back over to you guys.
A happy Shocks, a happy Caps. He's echoing the sentiment that they are going to have to beat the second best team in the world if they want to be the best team in the world, regardless of how easy the road is to getting to that finals. Man. Now, on the last day of groups, we had a handful of pros who stepped up and earned themselves MasterCard players of the game. They were Fnatic's Broxa, Invictus Gaming's Duke, Fnatic's Caps, Invictus Gaming's Rookie, 100 Thieves Onda, Fnatic's Hylissang, and the tiebreaker Pog goes once again to Fnatic's Broxa. That guy had a stellar day.
Oh, he likes to play Lee Sin. That's for sure.
Woo! A lot of Fnatic players. They had, I feel like 5 wins today. The 3 regular ones, the tiebreaker, and the draw.
And the draw. There you go. Well, yeah. Who gets Pog for that?
Watch gets
Pog
right
for that.
Right there.
Just spin me up a lower third real quick for a watch. Well, 8 days of games meant that you were absolutely blowing up Twitter with the big plays that solidified our teams competing in the quarterfinals. And while it took some work, we picked a few that we thought called for this week's Acer Big Plays. First up, iCrystallization celebrated EDG, learning from their past failures. Use Rakan, flank mid, kill everyone.
EDG want to come in from the side and make this play happen. There they go. See if maybe they can find some sort of a knockout. My boy's already grabbing the kill on to score. KT's in trouble. Yukao's going to go unstoppable, finding the kill on to Mako. Mata's going to be taken down next. KT's on the run. Smeth's trying to get himself out of this one. Yukao's going to go into the stasis. There's no way out. It's the play that's killed him twice before at Worlds. And EDG, they turn it right back around.
Not gonna lie, I saw Edward Gaming in that game. I saw a mid-game flank. I was like, oh no, it's happening again. And then I was like, oh, we flanked.
Flashbacks, flashbacks, flashbacks. Next up, DZ Ma was blown away by iBoy's inhuman reactions as he dodged everything.
Red team going deep in the paint, and they chase EDG all the way back. Oh, he's not done yet. Boom! There goes the splash! Oh, what was that? Now, he didn't have vision of Zoe, so I'm thinking the Ezreal ult actually ruined it because he saw the Ezreal ult.
He said after that he knew the Zoe would jump him. He knew the guy would be greedy. So he's like, he's just sitting ready, finger on the key, sees the little pop there, and then boom, flash to the side, takes him down.
40 chips.
Yeah, it's a reminder there's some pretty good players at this World Championship.
Yeah, like some sick mechanical plays.
Just because you're not seed 1 doesn't mean you don't have players like that.
Only the best at the World Championships. Finally, Mark Go Not summarized the lesson teams learned versus Vitality. Jizuke's Echo is clean.
Lock off with just the turret. And now Jizuke, can he make the huge play? We've seen big comebacks here before. He shuts down one. Watch out for the ult. Now can C9 knock him down. Here comes Sion, and he finds the knockup.
I'm ulting on Noction here. I got the backline.
Zion no flash, Zion no flash, Zion no flash,
I got
Zion no
Shen
flash.
here. I got them all here. I got them all. Go Zilan,
Let me the kill.
Zilan.
Let me the kill. Nice.
Push me together into bot. We can still win, guys. Don't give up.
Someone who was watching that game and not on broadcast, hoping C9 would get through, that Jizuke guy was terrifying. Like, you were wondering who was going to one-shot next. And that play was at a moment where it felt like C9 was in full control, and it brought it right back to even.
Yeah. You know, thinking about it, we had so many amazing plays. These are just 3 of them, right? I'm immediately jumping to the
That
Brock's.
last game?
Yeah, exactly. Brock's Dragon River with the kick into getting flashed into the dragon and over the wall to safety. Can anyone think of another stellar big play?
Just
one that you would have called
highlights. Rookie's lane phase where he was in the turret. Against Brox, he actually had Brox to throw his Q over here as he went over here to finish off Caps. Like, that game itself could have made an entire big play segment.
Should we just roll that game back?
I think we should.
Yeah,
We can
right?
definitely watch that again.
Rebroadcast
You got time, right? Oh, yeah, rebroadcast coming up. Tune in for that.
Nicely done.
Topical. All right, as we head into the knockouts, please continue tweeting out the giant moments worthy of the Acer big play to @LOL Esports, rather. That's what it is, with the hashtag Worlds 2018. Now, we return Friday, October 19th with 2 best-of-5s to kick off quarterfinal weekend. KT versus IG and RNG versus G2. Worlds Countdown starts at 8:30 p.m. PST. That's 5:30 a.m. CEST. 2 best-of-5s back-to-back. They're marathon days, but I'm excited for them.
Absolutely, and I am actually really excited that we don't have to wait the normal, like, 4 or 5 days we would before quarterfinals. The schedule being so close, I don't want to wait for the quarter, so I'm happy that they're all happening so soon.
I'm with you there, man. I always hate the wait time doing Worlds. I just need the games right now. Why do you need prep time? Just play.
I mean, lack of prep time seriously made for some exciting games, right? With 2 days, we'll see what the teams can do moving into those best-of-5s, but that's going to do it for us here. So now for myself, the casters, the entire live broadcast crew, thank you for watching, and we'll see you Friday for more Worlds 2018.
Are IG and Fnatic monster favorites in this group? Absolutely. But sometimes one game is all it takes to turn the tide.
Didn't follow it through. Here comes Brox. First blood for Brox's Lee Sin. Looking for another. The Rupture throws something into the air. In 3 versus 5. Fnatic are routing 100 Thieves. Reckless finds another. The inhibitor turret goes down. And Fnatic are barreling through the base. That's a good start. Kenny may find the kill. Defensive flat. Rookie stays alive, but not for long. And on the torch, lashes forward into 3. Look at the Winds of War. They've already found Stitch. Jackie Love jumps into the backside, and it's Ning that gets himself a double kill.
I'm tanking. Tanking one more. I dropped aggro. Nice one.
Well, we're gonna find out. Koala finds a pretty decent engage with the knockup and the quickness, but unfortunately there's just not enough damage to follow it up.
Might try Realm Walk to separate, and is going to be on top of him. There's the damage output, and a 1v2 solo kill for Rookie. Looks for more under the turret, but somebody's going to find himself the slow. The giant knockup not going to be found. His bell on the slip into the backside. The double kill for Rookie, and will it be more? Gets taunted, cleansed away, but it's going to be the kill as they knock down Koala, and that hook from downtown means 2 more kills for him.
I got Gragas. Hey, I'm going for sure. Just kill Gragas, kill Gragas. I can heal you. Yeah, knock down. They're going underground. Wait. Let's go. Yeah. Go.
All right, my friends. I want you to understand that there is a chance that the top lane matchup will be volatile.
If you int, you int.
No, it's not about that.
We will not help you.
I'm just saying.
Saw the kill, but Shy is down here for Broxa.
He's gonna get 1, 2, 3. The 4th is gonna be for sure as Shy gets a kill in mid. Beyond Death by Battleland. They got a 2nd kill already. IG are gonna be wiped off of the map.
You beat the Shy, man.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I didn't really, but there.
Gragas has flash, no? Unless you just use it. Nice.
Holy shit, nice one.
No
flash. Holy shit, Broxa.
Yeah, good job.
Broxa!
The black from
B for 0 Fnatic. Duke's gonna make it all happen himself. Does he have the damage? Get the double trades. Duke is huge. 1 for 0 Fnatic, and the answering damage is not here. Caps goes in for another 3 kills for Fnatic. Make it 3 and a 5 versus 1. Jackie Love versus the world, and he simply cannot do it.
It's fucking good.
We're so fucking good, man. We're gonna fucking win Worlds. I can't believe it.